Filming this right now, a mere half hour before I have classes because I like to live on the edge, I guess. Hello, my name is Elise, and today is my 21st birthday. So, for my birthday, it would have been really nice if I could film somewhere other than my apartment where the sound quality is terrible, but that is not how life worked out, so sorry, I guess. Ignore the traffic, ignore the staticky noises. But today for my 21st birthday, I am going to do a list of 21 books I want to read while I am still 21. There are so many books on my shelf or just on my Goodreads TBR in general that have been there for a while. And you know, like when you really want to read a book and then you just don't, you just put it off for no good reason other than to put it off. It's basically a list of that. So this is more of like a 21 books I've been meaning to read and then never read, and hopefully I can get through them this year. This not full year. This while I'm 21. I reset that. Anyway, these books are not going to be in any particular order, just whatever order I thought of them in. But yeah, these are all books I really want to read. All right, the first book I thought of literally just because it's sitting on my kitchen table over there, and also I keep seeing it all over Twitter and TikTok, but I've really been wanting to read The Love Hypothesis. This is a different book than the other books I've mentioned, because this isn't a book I've been wanting to read for a really long time. It's just a random book that has become very popular and I keep seeing good things about it. But I don't know, I've really been wanting to branch out into adult romance. Typically when I read adult romance, I don't really like it, but I've been hearing like really good stuff about it, and a couple of my friends who've read it and don't typically like that genre like me have really enjoyed it, and I think the main character is demisexual and the cover art is just gorgeous, and I've been hearing stuff about Star Wars, but whatever. But I've been really wanting to read it. I think it'll be cute. I'm excited. Again, what I hear, it should not disappoint, although maybe I'm really setting myself up there. The second book is a book we're all familiar with. I've been really wanting to read Six of Crows. I bought Six of Crows when it was released in whatever year. I think it was when I was in high school, maybe middle grade or middle school, I don't know. But I've owned that series for years, and then it got popular, and then I still haven't read it. I don't know, I've tried to read it so many times, but it just hasn't happened. I'm not great at YA fantasy, and especially because it's like thick, but I think I actually will like it even though I've been struggling. If I just push through, I think it'll be great. I think I'll like the characters because I'm a very character kind of person. It's just like, I'm pretty sure the beginning scene, if I remember correctly, is very actiony, and sometimes I have a hard time immersing myself in action, so I think I just need to push through that. But that is my goal, to finally read Six of Crows, because I feel like at this point, I really have to read Six of Crows. I can't be on BookTube without reading Six of Crows. And then on a total different realm of the book world, the third book I really want to read is called, I have the whole title here, give me a second, Sellout, the major label feeding frenzy that swept punk, emo, and hardcore. My name is the Petite Punk on YouTube. I actually just impulsively pre-ordered this a couple days ago because there was a pre-order campaign that if you pre-ordered it, then you get a free tote bag, and obviously I needed to pay the full pre-order price because I wanted that tote bag. But yeah, this is a nonfiction book on bands. I just said the genres punk, emo, and hardcore, and those are genres I pretty much grew up on. I really enjoyed, and the author actually helped write Laura Jane Grace's memoir From Against Me, if you all are familiar or not familiar with that artist. But yeah, I really love the bands that are going to be talked about in there. It includes My Chemical Romance. Yes, I never got in my emo phase, but I'm really looking forward to it. I know it was a very impulsive pre-order, but I am excited for it. Book number 4 is called Ashfall Legacy, and if you have seen some of my wrap-up videos, I've grown up on the series, oh my gosh, why am I blanking? The Lorien Legacies by Pittacus lore. The first book is item number 4. I've said this many times. It's not the highest quality of writing, but I just love it so much. I don't know why. It's not even in a genre I typically read. It's young adult science fiction. There's so many elements that I typically don't like in books, like multiple point of views and just like really fast-paced actiony scenes. I don't know, but for some reason I've just consistently enjoyed it since I've been reading it when I was like 12, and they always have a new book every year. So I really want to read the newest book that came out in August called Ashfall Legacy. However, that does require me to finish the previous books because I kind of fell off the boat for a while and I haven't technically finished the books leading up to this new release, so I have to get through that. But I've actually been rereading all of the books, and there's like a million of them. I reread the first series, which was 7 books, and then I have to read the spin-off, and then this is another one. So lots of reading just to get to the one book on my list, but it'll be fun. Hopefully it's not a disappointment. And then I keep saying I don't like YA fantasy or YA science fiction and usually just read contemporary. My next book is, in fact, a fantasy. Number 5 is Legendborn. This is another book that I actually got for my birthday last year, so thank you whoever got me Legendborn last year. It was the only Amazon wishlist book I got that didn't have a note, and no one said that they got it for me, so whoever you are, thank you again. But that's just another book that I've really been wanting to read. I've heard so many good things about it. Like, I don't think I've heard anything bad about it at all. So I've been wanting to read that for that purpose, but again, I just see it and I'm like, oh, it's a chunky fantasy book. I'm very intimidated. So I want to get out of that fear zone of reading chunky fantasy books because I feel like I'm missing out. It sounds like it's so good, and I hear there's a sequel or something like that. I don't want to miss out. I hate this. I always miss out. I don't read books while they're popular. I wait years and years until they're no longer popular, and then I'm like, oh no, I feel left out. And then I read it, and then everyone's moved on from that book. I'm like, oh no, no one wants to talk about it. It's a sad cycle, so I think I should get on that and finally read Legendborn. Book number 6 is actually more of a series rather than a book. I've been really wanting to finish the Trials of Apollo series by Riordan. I read the first book when it came out. I had pre-ordered it and everything. I don't usually pre-order books, so I was so excited for that when I pre-ordered it. I don't remember if I read the second book. I don't remember. I either read the second book and only read a bit of the third. No, I think I only read a little bit of the second book. I don't know. I just get so impatient when it comes to, I lost my train of thought. I get so impatient when it comes to waiting every year for a series because, I don't like reading series, so if it's not all out, I really struggle. But, I still supported the author. I still own all of the books. So I would like to actually read those books that I own and start with the first one again. Again, I already read the first book, what is the first book called? It's not called The Trials of Apollo, is it? I don't know, the one that's orange and blue. I don't even remember. But I want to reread that and read the rest of the series because I'm really looking forward to it. And then there's going to be a new Nico and Will book, and I'm just so excited. So I just really want to check that off my read list so that way I can be all prepared for the Nico and Will list, or Nico and Will book, because I know it'll make me scream because that is something I've been looking forward to, or something I've hypothetically been looking forward to for so long, and now it's actually a thing, or going to be a thing. Book number 7 is another book with long titles. You'll actually notice that this list is a lot of books that are in genres I don't read a lot of, like nonfiction and science fiction and fantasy, and it's mainly because these are books I've been wanting to read but I put off because I'm scared of those genres. So just in case you're noticing a theme after I keep saying I don't typically read these genres. But book number 7 is called Grace and Justice on Death Row, The Race Against Time and Texas to Free an Innocent Man. So I got this book in high school once upon a time ago on this social justice trip I took to Washington, D.C., and it was really cool. I actually got to see the author speak, and that's why I bought his book, because I really was inspired by that speech. I thought it was very touching. I have it signed and everything, and I've just been putting off reading the book. I don't know why. I've owned it for probably 4 or 5 years now, so perhaps it is time. It is nonfiction, but it's really short, so I think I should just do it. I should just sit down and read it. Also, it's about death row, and originally my college plans have been to get my degree in sociology and psychology, go to grad school for social work, and then perhaps work in the criminal justice system, maybe in prisons, directly in prisons. And all this social justice stuff I did in high school, going on this trip to DC and everything, that really inspired me, which is why I own that book. But BookTube is making me reconsider my career paths. I've really been thinking about going into publishing instead because of this, so maybe reading this book will help me decide if I really want to change what I want to do. I don't know. Book number 8 is called Starfish. I hope I pronounced the author's name right. Akemi Bowman. Meh. But the one of the books that this author's already written, it's called Summer Bird Blue. It's one of my favorite books. I originally rated it 4 stars, but then I thought about it and I was like, I really, really, really liked this book. So I think I want to reread it and give it the 5 stars it deserves. But yeah, this is another book by the same author. Again, it's called Starfish, and I've just been wanting to read it because I really was so inspired by that first book that I read by them, Summer Bird Blue. So I'm hoping this one gives off similar vibes, or at least is as touching and heartbreaking to me as Summer Bird Blue. Book number 9 that I really want to read, 121, is called Here the Whole Time. This is a contemporary fiction book, and I don't know too much about it because, like, when I got the book, I got it for Christmas last year. It was still in the process of like being published in the US. So I think when I read the Goodreads description, I think it was in Spanish. It was in a language I do not speak. So I was just kind of going off of tweets I saw. But I think it's like a close proximity trope, like, oh no, I have to spend time with you. And I think there's supposed to be a lot of talks about body positivity. I don't know. It sounded cute, but also I just really liked the cover. And if y'all know me, I'm a sucker for cute illustrated covers, so that is why I own it. But I think it sounds like it's going to be really good, so I'm looking forward to it, as I haven't for the past year. I just haven't gotten to it. Well, I'm having a hard time speaking, but what's new? That's me in most videos. 10th book I really want to read is called Anna on the Edge. This is a middle grade book, but I've been really wanting to read this because it is about exploring gender identity, and that's all I know. And I think it has ice skating in there, but it is about a 12-year-old protagonist, and I honestly have not seen many books about gender identity in middle grade, so I'm really excited to read this when I get the chance. This is one book that it's not because I own it and haven't gotten to it. I don't own it, and it's not at my library back home or my library here in my college town, and I just cannot find a copy for the life of me. If anyone wants to get it for me, it is on my wish list. Today's my birthday. But yeah, I've been really wanting to read that. I feel like that is definitely such a turning point in children's literature and the topics we can explore within children's literature. That was about, I was trying to sound profound and then it didn't sound profound, but that's okay. Book number 11, I have to stop doing hand things, is Strange the Dreamer. And this is a book that I have also owned for over a year. I think I also got it for my birthday. I don't know why so many people got me Amazon wishlist gifts last year, but yeah, I'm slowly getting through them. But I don't really know much about Strange the Dreamer other than I hear people on my Twitter timeline talking about it all the time, and now I own both books because I got them for my birthday last year from Twitter. Thank you, Twitter. Thank you. But I think I should finally read it. The covers are so gorgeous, and I always hear good things about it. And whenever I hear or see quotes from it, they are always just so wonderful. So I think it's time to bite the bullet and read them. Again, it is another example of me being afraid of a chunky fantasy book. I'm just afraid it'll be difficult to read, or at least like visualize in my head. But I think I should just sit down and try to read it. I've read hundreds of books by now. I don't know why I can't just pick up the scary YA fantasy. I mean, like, literal children are reading that. I think I can manage. I've been spending weeks just reading academic journals nonstop. I think I can manage a fantasy book meant for children. 12 is Dune, and I hope this is the correct Dune, but if it is, then Dune is going to be a movie soon. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be so embarrassed if I'm wrong. But I usually would have no interest in like a pure sci-fi kind of book like this, and I don't even want to read it because it's a movie. It's more because I remembered that I own it, and I actually own multiple copies by accident. It's because I was at Half Price Books once upon a time ago. I think I was in high school, maybe in middle school. I want to say high school though, and I was just like looking for books, and I found myself in this sci-fi area by accident. Like, I didn't want to be there. I was just looking for the genre I wanted to read, which was probably YA fiction. But there was a bookseller there, and he was so excited that I was in the sci-fi area. He was like, oh my gosh, do you like sci-fi? And I was like, not really. And he literally picked up Dune, put it in my hands, and said, here, you'll love this book. And I paid $8 because I didn't want to hurt his feelings, except I literally already have the book at home because my parents own it. So yeah, basically I want to read Dune because my family owns 2 copies because I was too embarrassed to tell their very enthusiastic bookseller that I did not want to read Dune and also owned it already. So yeah. Book number 13. That was, put the hands away. Once again, it's the common theme here is me trying to read genres I'm scared of and trying to read books that have more than like 300 pages in them because long books are also scary. But this book is called Please Kill Me, The Uncensored Oral History of Punk. It's pretty self-explanatory there in the title. It's a nonfiction book about the history of punk. I've been wanting to read this for so long, and I think it'll be quite good, especially because that is something of interest to me, but it's like thick. She's thick, y'all. It is so big. So that's why I've been putting it off because it's just a little intimidating. But why is the traffic always so loud? It like distracts me so much. I mean, I could just keep talking and ignore the traffic, but the way my brain works, I like have to stop and stare out the window. And see, now I lost my train of thought. Let's just sum that up by saying I'm scared of that book because it is long, but it looks good. So maybe it's time to overcome my fears. I'm an adult now. I can read big, scary books that are only scary because they have many pages in them and small text. Book number 14 may or may not have been inspired by TikTok, as a couple of the books on my list have been, oh my gosh, but it is They Both Die at the End, and I'm sure y'all are familiar with it. It is one of the most popular TikTok books. I've seen it all the time on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter, on the book talk table of what's it called, Barnes & Noble, and this is a book that I have known about since it was released. I have read many Adam Silvera books. By many, I think I mean 2, but I read Happier Than Not twice, whatever it's called. But I don't know why I haven't read this one. It sounds sad, just like based off the title, and I hear it's sad. But I also hear that even though it's like a popular TikTok book, it's also really good. So I think I want to read it, finally. I don't know why I've been putting it off. I think I just think it's going to be too sad. But I don't know, maybe I'll read it again. I feel a little left out. Everyone else has read it. I want to read it. It's time. I need to stop putting it off. I don't know why I'm putting it off. It's time. Respectfully, I'm gonna need nonfiction authors to stop making their book titles so long because then I have to discreetly look at my laptop down here. But the 15th book is called Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. I've owned this book for so long. I've had it literally for years and years because that's just something important to me. My identification with being an introvert, and I don't know why I haven't read it. Probably because it's a scary nonfiction book that's not actually scary. But I think it's time. And also, I've noticed I'm still introverted, very, very, very introverted as they come. I'm just less shy and like less insecure about it. So I'd like to read it now, finally, as I'm no longer very insecure about the fact that I'm introverted. It's weird. Like, I come off as more extroverted now, but it's because I'm comfortable with the fact that I'm introverted, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I've been wanting to read that for years, and it just hasn't happened. So now is my time, I suppose. Book 16, we're mixing up the genres a bit, and it is The Picture of Dorian Gray. This is a classic book. I have not read it, but I do own it. It's just one of those classics where I'm hoping that I'll like it. I don't read many classics. I love books, but classics have never really resonated with me. I try my hardest. I've always done my school reading, okay? But that does not mean I've enjoyed it. But from what just fell? Oh my gosh. You can see the way my brain works. 0 brain cells just floating around. But see, now I lost my train of thought again. It's just so sad living in this brain of mine. Forgot what I was saying. I think I was saying that I think I will like The Picture of Dorian Gray from what I've heard from other people. However, the last time I thought I'd really like a classic, I never finished it because it caused me pain to read. So, like pain as in it was so boring. So we'll see how this goes, but I do own it now, so no excuses. I have to read it. Book 17 is another adult romance. It is called People We Meet on Vacation, another super popular book. Y'all are probably familiar with it, but this is a book that I actually went out of my way and bought full price at Target. Like, I don't usually go out of my way to buy books full price. Like, I usually only buy books used, but I felt the need to buy it because it was one of the buddy reads for my buddy readathon that I hosted over the summer, and I was so excited to buy it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna participate in my own readathon, and then I never got to it, so it's time. I think I should read that book, especially since I paid full price for it. But I think I will like it. I think it's Friends to Lovers, which is like my favorite trope ever. So I think it'll be good. I think I should stop putting it off. I don't know why I haven't read it yet. That is the theme of this video. Book number 18 is part of a duology. It's the second book in that duology, and it is called The Shadow of Kyoshi. I read the first book a year ago. It's called The Rise of Kyoshi. Yeah, it's the green one. And I really liked it. It took me forever to find a copy, and I was so impulsive. Like, I really fell into the supply and demand trap of that because I bought both of the books full price at Barnes & Noble. It cost me so much money, like so much money, because I wanted them so badly. And I got them, and then I only read the first book and didn't read the second book after all of that, after spending all that time searching the internet for them and spending all that money. So it is time to read the second book. I think I might, do I want to rewatch Avatar before reading it? Oh, I'm thinking about that, maybe. But yeah, I will be reading the second book eventually, although I might reread the first book just for fun. But yeah, now I'm very sad that they are at a decent price now and I didn't have to pay the amount I paid, but that's life. Here we are again with another nonfiction book with an absurdly long title. It is called Maybe You Should Talk to Someone, a Therapist, Her Therapist, and Our Lives Revealed. This is a nonfiction book, as I literally just said. I think it's a memoir. Maybe it's not. I'm not sure. Actually, I don't think it's a memoir. Who knows? I'll have to read to find that out. But I do own it. I pretty impulsively bought this, but it looked really good, and I saw good ratings on, what's it called? Goodreads, and also I think it might be a self-help book, ... question mark. I'm not sure, but I'm always really skeptical of self-help books, and I often don't like them that much. But this one got such good reviews that I am open to it, and I want to read it, and I just think mental health in general is an interesting and relatable topic, so perhaps I should read the book I own. Book number 20 is another middle grade book, and it is called The First Rule of Punk. Oh my gosh, I think this might be my third punk book on this list, or fourth, maybe third. But this is a middle grade book that I think sounds like it borrows from some punk values and punk culture, but it's like middle grade. I don't know. My friend Sid got it for me. I think it sounds pretty cute. I haven't read it because that is just me. I collect books and never read them, but I think I'm really gonna like it, and the cover is so cute, and it just sounds like a good time. It sounds like something totally up my alley. So I don't know. I keep ending every single book with, I don't know why I haven't read it yet. Me either. Okay, well, I guess I'm the same person. Whatever. I'm having like a total inner monologue right now. My videos are very stream of consciousness. I'm very sorry. But yeah, time to read it. And then the last book, book 21, because I am 21, is Late to the Party by Kelly Quinlan. This is another book that I've owned forever and never read, but this one I feel like I've been putting off because I have high expectations for it, although I'm kind of afraid it will not meet those expectations. I've really been wanting to read it because I've been searching just for like a really relatable book about high school and like not fitting into the normal social clock of high school, if that makes any sense whatsoever. But something tells me I might be a little let down because I just have to read it knowing that it's not going to be my exact experience. I don't know why I would expect it to be, but yeah, I think I should just bite the bullet and just read it already. But yeah, that is the last book on this list. Alright, those are the 21 books I want to read while I'm still 21. Although if things go how they have been going, I'll read 0 of the books. But the goal is to change that. The goal is to read them. But I hope you all enjoyed. I do want to say for the few of you that have gotten, or at least told me that you got me something off my Amazon wish list, if you're seeing this video, I am still at my apartment and anything got sent to my parents' house. So thank you in advance. I will pick that up soon. But yeah, thank you all for watching. It's time for me to go to class. Bye bye. Just like to briefly stop and say I can't tell if this is smeared eyeliner or if that's just a weird shadow. Like, what is this weird dark? I think it's just a shadow. Well, now I'm deeply bothered.